You've probably seen this moment 1,000 times, but almost never like this.
Dense nougat, roasted peanuts, sticky caramel, all sealed under a shell of milk chocolate.
To make millions of these bars every day, it takes a factory the size of a small town. Inside, automated lines move non-stop, turning basic ingredients into one of the world's most famous candy bars. Today, we'll follow one bar from raw peanuts and sugar all the way to the shelf and into your hand.
For a quick break at work or a road trip snack, this bar has become a familiar fuel for millions. But behind every bite is a carefully controlled process that mixes candy making with serious engineering.
A Snickers bar is basically 4 layers: nougat, peanuts, caramel, and a coating of milk chocolate.
Each layer starts as simple ingredients: sugar, milk, cocoa, and peanuts, delivered in industrial quantities.
In this video, you'll see how ingredients arrive, how they're roasted, mixed, and cooked, how the bars are shaped and coated.
Behind the machines, skilled operators monitor every step, making sure each bar looks and tastes the same.
In a single day, one plant can produce enough bars to fill entire warehouses like this.
We'll break it down layer by layer so you can see how each part of the bar comes to life.
Let's step inside the line, right where a Snickers bar begins. Every bar starts outside, where trucks deliver raw materials to the factory's receiving docks. Bulk sugar, corn syrup, milk powder, cocoa, and tons of peanuts arrive on tightly scheduled deliveries. Forklifts quickly move these loads from the truck into controlled storage rooms.
Barcodes help track every batch, so each bar can be traced back to the ingredients it came from. From storage, ingredients are piped, conveyed, or vacuum-fed into large silos and hoppers above the production lines.
These silos can hold many tons of sugar or flour, feeding the line continuously without stopping. The Snickers line itself is a sequence of stations, each designed for one part of the bar.
Nougat is made first, then topped with peanuts and caramel, cut into bars, and finally coated in chocolate before wrapping.
Before anyone enters production, they pass through hygiene stations to reduce contamination risk.
Protective clothing, hairnets, and gloves are standard and strictly enforced.
At the very beginning, the line waits for its first ingredient, the nougat base.
While the nougat mixes, peanuts are being cleaned and roasted, and chocolate coating is kept melted and ready. Once everything is in sync, the line can push out hundreds of bars per minute without stopping. One of the stars of a Snickers bar is the peanut, but it doesn't go in straight from the farm.
First, raw peanuts are cleaned to remove dust and any unwanted pieces before roasting. And
Vibrating screens sift out smaller particles, while air blowers remove light shells and dust. Cleaned peanuts then head into a continuous roaster, essentially a long, hot tunnel. Inside, heated air and slowly rotating drums roast the nuts evenly and bring out their flavor. When they reach the perfect color and aroma, the peanuts spill out onto cooling belts. Cool air flows up through the moving layer of nuts, dropping their temperature quickly so they don't over-roast. The result is a consistent, crunchy peanut that will hold its texture inside the bar. Before they join the bars, the peanuts pass through optical sorters that scan for defects.
If the cameras spot anything off-color or misshapen, air jets instantly push it aside.
Metal detectors add another layer of safety, checking for any stray metallic fragments. Samples are regularly pulled and sent to the on-site lab for quality checks.
Technicians evaluate color, crunch, and even moisture content to keep the roast consistent.
Once they pass inspection, roasted peanuts are stored in hoppers, waiting to be sprinkled on the nougat. Each of these peanuts will be part of the crunchy layer that makes a Snickers feel substantial.
The difference between raw and properly roasted is huge to both taste and texture.
With peanuts ready, we can move to the heart of the bar, the nougat base. Nougat has to be soft enough to bite, but firm enough to carry peanuts and caramel on top.
Creating that perfect texture starts with a carefully controlled mixing process.
Nougat begins as a blend of sugar, glucose syrup, milk powder, fats, and a touch of cocoa whipped into a dense foam.
Warm sugar syrups are metered in automatically at carefully set temperatures for easy mixing.
Dry ingredients drop in through separate hoppers to avoid clumping and ensure even distribution.
As mixing speed increases, air is folded into the mass, giving nougat its light chew.
The result is a sticky, elastic dough. Not too hard, not too runny.
Once the batch reaches the right density, the entire tank tilts and dumps the nougat onto the line. Rollers control the thickness down to a few millimeters, which determines the height of the finished bar.
From here on, the process is continuous. The nougat never stops moving until it's a bar.
Operators regularly pull samples from the sheet to check texture and density. Some formulations may add a thin layer of flavor or sugar syrup on top, helping the peanuts stick later. By this point, the surface is smooth and tacky, perfect for catching a layer of peanuts. Height is checked constantly. Even a small change can alter the final bar's weight. With the base set, it's time to add the roasted peanut layer that gives Snickers its signature crunch. Above the moving slab, a hopper holds roasted peanuts from the roaster, ready to drop in a precise blanket. A controlled curtain of peanuts falls evenly across the entire width of the nougat. Light rollers push the nuts just enough into the nougat, anchoring them so they won't fall off later. Now, the bar has two layers, a solid nugget foundation and a crunchy peanut crown. Next, this moving bed of peanuts will get coated in a thick river of caramel.
Snickers caramel starts in large cookers, where sugar and syrups are heated to a precise temperature.
Large agitators keep the mixture moving so it cooks evenly and doesn't scorch.
Milk ingredients and fats are added to give the caramel its creamy chew and rich taste.
As water boils off, the caramel thickens, turning into the sticky layer you recognize. After cooling, the caramel's stretch and firmness are compared against set standards.
These cooled chutes help control thickness so the caramel spreads in a uniform layer. Now the caramel meets the peanuts, pouring in a continuous sheet over the moving slab below.
The caramel flows around and between the peanuts, locking them into a chewy matrix.
What was once just nougat and nuts is now a three-layer strip: nougat, peanuts, and caramel.
A leveling bar trims off excess caramel, keeping thickness within a narrow tolerance. Before cutting, the caramel must cool and set so it doesn't ooze off the sides.
Chilled air circulates in the tunnel, slowly firming the caramel without making it brittle.
The caramel now springs back slightly when pressed, a sign it's ready to be cut into bars.
What started as separate ingredients is now one unified block, ready to be divided into individual Snickers bars.
Several ribbons move forward in parallel, boosting the line's capacity.
At this stage, they still look unfinished. No chocolate yet, and the caramel edges are exposed.
Next stop is the chocolate enrober, where each center will be completely covered.
In separate tanks, milk chocolate coating is kept melted and gently stirred to stay silky. Excess chocolate flows off, ensuring a smooth, even coating without making the bars too heavy. A gentle vibration knocks off any last drips, and the extra chocolate is collected and reused.
Now they finally look like the Snickers bars, but the chocolate still needs to set.
Right out of the enrober, the coating is soft and shiny, not yet firm enough for wrapping.
They travel through a long cooling tunnel that gradually brings the chocolate down to a solid state. Chilled air flows above and below the bars to set the chocolate evenly.
At the exit, the chocolate has set into a firm, smooth shell around the soft interior.
The line now delivers finished bars, ready for quality checks and packaging.
In less than a minute, a plain 3-layer center transforms into a fully coated Snickers bar.
But they're still vulnerable. Without wrappers, chocolate can easily scuff or melt.
That's why the next step is to wrap each bar in its protective, branded foil.
Printed film unwinds in sync with the conveyor, each logo positioned exactly for a centered wrapper. The bars are about to disappear for a second, sealed inside their familiar blue, red, and white wrappers.
Flow wrappers form a continuous tube of film around the bars as they move.
Several wrapper lines feed onto central belts, merging thousands of bars into organized streams. Cameras verify the wrapper is placed correctly and that the print is clear and not smudged.
Robotic arms place each counted group into retail boxes with precise, repeatable movements.
Those smaller boxes are then packed into larger cartons for transport to stores and distributors. Automatic palletizers stack these cartons into tall, stable pallets ready for shipping. Finally, a stretch wrap machine secures the load, protecting it from dust and movement during transit.
Forklifts move the loaded pallets into distribution warehouses, where they wait for outgoing trucks.
From here, Snickers bars head out to supermarkets, gas stations, and vending machines around the world.
Random bars are weighed to make sure everyone falls within a narrow weight range.
Even the thickness of nougat and caramel is measured to keep the eating experience consistent. Production lines are routinely stopped for deep cleaning, with machines partly disassembled and washed.
All of this ensures that when you open a Snickers, you're getting a bar that's safe, consistent, and exactly what you expect.
From silos of sugar and tanks of chocolate to this shelf in your local store, the journey is surprisingly complex. In a few seconds, you choose a bar that took hours of careful processing and planning to create.
The next time you hear that wrapper crinkle and see caramel stretch, you'll know the factory story behind it.
Roasted peanuts, chewy nugget, soft caramel, and smooth chocolate, all brought together by a highly tuned manufacturing line.
how Snickers are made, subscribe for more behind-the-scenes journeys inside the world's factories.